Hey guys, how's everybody doing? So I wanted to record a video today. Somebody in the Affiliates Ask Anything group basically was asking about credit. So with affiliate marketing, your credit is really king. And if you don't have any credit, it's going to be very, very hard to actually conduct business and to, scale the campaigns that you find winning and stuff. So basically, I'm going to talk about this because I have a lot of experience in this area. I started out when I was 17 with basically no money. I had about $300 in my bank account and no credit at all, right? So, it's been a while now, and, basically my credit limits are a lot. Like, I think that if I wanted to, I could spend, $500,000 on an Amex card and they wouldn't even really blink an eye. And, it took me a while to get up to this point, but basically I want to tell you guys what to do because it's no secret. Like, it doesn't need to be, this isn't something that you need to pay like $10,000 to learn from in a mastermind or whatever. This is common knowledge, but not a lot of people really understand this in the affiliate marketing industry. So basically, here's how credit works. So when you're first getting started out, of course, you may not have any credit because, if you haven't been conducting business or if you haven't been using a credit card, then you may not even have a credit score. So the first step that you should take to starting to build your credit is to basically get a credit card that you can use, usually from your bank. So I do my banking here in the US, and basically when I was 17, I just went into the bank and I asked them for a credit card, and they gave me like $1,000 month limit. And after about a year or so of just kind of spending that on groceries and stuff like that, it ended up going up to $10,000 a month. Okay, but basically this initial credit card allowed me to establish my credit history. So without a credit history, you can never increase your credit because they want to make sure that you're worthy of giving a higher credit limit to, right? Pretty simple, right? So basically, you can only get so far on these bank credit cards. So the Bank of America, I think still today, even the limit is just $10,000 on it. Okay, but basically having this credit limit set me up significantly for later on, okay? So after you've established credit on a personal level, the next thing that you want to do is basically start an entity. This could be a C Corp, it could be an LLC, it could be an S Corp. It doesn't really matter, but basically you need to start a company and you need to start establishing credit, not only on a personal level, but also on a company level, okay? So once you have an LLC and once you have an established credit history of at least 1 or 2 years on a personal level, then you can start to apply for business credit cards. So the best business credit card to use is basically the Amex Plum card, I found. A lot of people like other stuff like the Capital One Spark card or, whatever other card they like. I love the Amex Plum card because basically they increase my credit limit so fast and just let me increase and spend as much as I want without giving me any problems. So that's huge. So basically I got my Plum card, after basically I established my personal entity, my personal LLC. So Peter and I, we have a company that we own together, but we also have individual entities that are only tied to our names. And basically we've been able to get a lot of credit by just sort of having different entities and having different credit histories with these different entities and stuff like that. But so let me tell you the story. So when I first got my Amex Plum card, I think my initial limit was around $20K, which is a pretty kind of standard limit, right? Okay, but basically after the first month, every time that you pay off the card, the balance resets. So having a $20K a month credit limit, if you're getting paid on a weekly basis as an affiliate, means that you could pay that off 4 times a month and actually spend about $80,000 a month on that card. And how Amex works is basically the credit limit isn't necessarily unlimited, but I found out from my Amex rep that basically they look at the past 3 months of credit spending and basically come up with a limit based on that. So, we were running high volume ads at the time, so I was basically spending as much as I possibly could on this card and paying it off on a weekly basis. So the first month I probably spent $80,000, paid it off like 4 times. The next month they increased my limit to $35,000, and I spent all that money and paid it off on a weekly basis. That was like $150,000 in spend or whatever. Okay, and once I started actually spending like 6 figures a month on the card, they actually just gave me like a 6-figure limit. Not only, basically just like 90 days later, they gave me like $100,000 limit. And, from there, I started to scale the ad spend and do, several 100,000 per month on the card. And basically, very, very quickly, within just a period of a couple months, the credit limit went from $20K a month to basically hundreds of thousands of dollars per month. So, the credit building is very, very slow at first. Like, it takes a while to, start to establish credit, to set up an entity, to start to establish credit on that entity. But once you have the credit established, it can be very, very easy to scale your credit once you're actually paying it off on a regular basis. So even still today on my Amex card, I always make sure to pay it off a little bit early. I'm always making frequent payments on it to keep them happy. And, just doing stuff that's going to build trust with them to allow me to just spend more and more and more and more over time. Okay. So aside from credit cards, you can also get lines of credit from the bank. So both Peter and I, for our individual entities, basically have separate lines of credit that are not tied to, Amex or credit cards. And basically we were able to each get, multiple 6-figure credit lines from the bank. So this is very low interest. Like, I think my interest rate is like 2.75% or something. And the interest payments are like, it's just like free money basically, right? It's very, very low interest. And, if you're spending money and getting paid back on a weekly basis, then it's not a whole lot of risk either. And, this is really the best way to grow the business very, very quickly. So this is how, after basically failing from 2012 to 2014 and, not making any more than like $10,000 a year in revenue, we ended up having a $3 million a year in revenue in 2015 because basically we started rapidly scaling our credit using the strategies that I just told you. Okay, now, of course, scaling the credit rapidly is predicated on having a profitable campaign or many profitable campaigns to spend money on. I do not recommend testing on credit if you don't have the means to pay it back, because then you're just going negative and going into debt, and I never advise doing that. Never, okay? So that's more or less the gist of it, guys. So if you're looking to build credit, realize that it's a slow start, and if you have no credit, it's going to be even harder. But the best place for you to start building credit is basically wherever you currently do your banking, because they can look at your bank account habits, they can look at your income, and they can at least start you off with some basic credit limit, whether it be, $500 a month or whatever it's going to be. Okay. But over the course of a year, over the course of 2 years, over the course of 3 years, there's no reason why you couldn't get up to a multiple 6-figure or even 7-figure credit limit, just like Peter and I have been able to. So anyways, hope this video is helpful. Leave a like, leave a comment below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.